Hello artists, this is Miss Monroe, and today I'm going to teach you a little bit about symmetry and how it relates to the art world. So some of you might know what symmetry means. It pretty much means something that is the same on both sides. For example, if I were to take this square and if I were to cut it down the middle, it would be the same on either side. Even if I turn it on this corner, same on either side. So that is what we call bilateral symmetry, and that means same on just two sides. For example, if I took my hands also and I lined them up and my thumbs are touching, if there was to be a line in between where my two thumbs are, it's the same on both sides. Now, that is one type of symmetry. And we are actually going to be learning about a different type of symmetry. The symmetry is called radial symmetry. Now, radial symmetry refers to a circle. So here's a circle. And it basically means something that radiates from a central axis, from a point. So if I were to use my dry erase marker, find my central point. And if I were to go up and then I divide it in half, it's the same on both sides one way, but I could also go out this way, repeat it on the same side, and now it's the same on the top and the bottom. Or I can go diagonally. And no matter how I slice it, it is the same. So if I had something right here, it would repeat all the way around. There are many ways that we see radial symmetry used in, occurring in nature. For example, flowers, stars, starfish, spider webs, snowflakes, many different things. And what we are going to do is we are going to recreate it in our art. Now, what I like to do is I'm going to show you different ways that we are going to make some flowers. Now, flowers are awesome. As I said, because they show radial symmetry and they come in all different types of petals, flowers, colors, many different ways we can make some radial symmetrical flowers. And the trick is we are going to draw and trace some circles and dots. And I'm going to show you some ways and some ideas. Now you can use your own shapes and ideas, but the key point, the thing that we all are going to have to do, no matter what, is there needs to be a central point. So as I said, I'm going to trace some dots. So in the four corners, I'm going to have some dots. And I'm also going to trace some circles. So I'm going to go around my house. Remember, that's my central focus for my art lessons, is that we're going to use things that we can find in our house to make our art. So for example, maybe I have some glue sticks. So I'm going to, in between my two dots on either side, I am going to trace some circles. And remember, it's radial, so I'm just going to, you know what, let's just go all the way around. Let's fill the entire page up. Let's make it busy. And that means I want a lot of stuff going around. And now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And in the middle, I want you to put a really big one. You can use a cup. I'm using my tape ring. There we go. So, and in the middle of the bigger circles, I want you to find the central point. You just need to eyeball it. You're actually probably really good at it. Remember, always trust your own self. You are It's all about confidence, and you are really, 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 really smart and bright. You got this. So, different shapes, different types of flowers. And what I like to do is I like to focus on the big one first. And how I do that is so I take my point and I just go straight up. I'm going to make some marks on the edge. And we're not going to touch those just yet, but we'll focus on those later. What I'm going to do in the center, because I noticed in flowers, especially in sunflowers, they have this little thing. I'm going to fill this entire thing up, so I'm going to speed up. So pretty much I'm going to do this in all of my other circles too, but I can pick different shapes, but I'm going to fill it in because this is like the center of my flower and it's not petals. So now I have started the centers. They're all filled out now with these different radiating designs from a central point. What we're going to do now is we are going to draw our petals. Now, I like to start with the big one because I feel like that would be the biggest flower and it's going to be on top. You can decide which flower you're going to start with, and I marked it to help me. So pretty much what I'm going to do is I'm going to bounce up, but then this one I'm going to bounce to a point, and I'm going to trade off and rotate. Bounce, point, bounce, point. And now I have some simple flower, but this is a really big flower. And if you've ever actually looked at a flower, this is a fake flower, but it mimics a real flower. You have small petals and then you get some really big petals, and they layer and they overlap. And it's this beautiful thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to speed through and you can watch, but I'm going to use different shapes and different patterns. Pretty much what we're doing is we are creating patterns using shapes and lines. But instead of putting the shapes and lines on a straight line, we are putting it around in a circle because it's all going out from the center. So I'm going to stop and speed up. Okay, so now I've created some flowers. I can still go back in if I want to and make some smaller ones. It really is your choice, boys and girls. I really love it when things are filled in so you don't really have any empty space. You want to use the paper to its full potential. I mean, close your eyes and think of all the many different types of flowers you've seen around. Maybe on your walks, maybe in your neighborhood. They're pretty awesome. And I love them, and I like getting bouquets of them. So you've drawn it, you've traced it. This is when you get to decide if you're going to trace it with a black marker, you're going to make a Xerox copy, or you can color it. So when you color it, if you drew with a pencil, do not color it with a marker. I would trace it first with a ballpoint pen. If you've traced it with a marker, you can color it with a marker. It won't mess with it. So what I like to do, so here's another one I made, and I like to go back in and I like to color it. I like to make the background one color, and then I start to add color. And these are some pretty awesome markers that you can find at Daiso. They're like $1.50. They're pretty awesome. So pretty much you get to decide how you want to color it. It doesn't have to be colored, boys and girls. You can keep it black and white. But pretty much what I like to use this for is I like to turn them into cards, especially since it is still not advised to meet up in groups. So I've been leaving these at friends' houses when it's their birthday, and it's like a nice surprise for them. So I hope you find something nice to do with this, and I hope you color it and make it a really awesome present. So thank you, and turn it again next